All right, back to more serious matters, guys. I hope you don't mind our banters and nerd talk here, because we still have to wait for the game to be decided, the map to be decided, sorry. We still need to wait for the drafts. It's taking a little bit longer right now, but the teams need the time sometimes to really rally up and gear up. So we're probably going to have our next draft soon. In terms of maps, I'm not sure what I would like to see at this point. Probably want to see a little bit of Curse Hollow, to be honest. Chinese teams don't play enough on this map.
It's another map. I think that's the important thing to remember. Turns out the chat, what they really want is Jiraxxus, so that's understandable.
Oh man, that is indeed a good one.
Can we have to? I am going to argue against it. We're going to see Sky, so a big map quickly. But I will argue against Jiraxxus until we have an actual gnome in the game. That's the only limit I have. Jiraxxus can't come in.
We got a gnome already. Look at Chromie.
She's a dragon.
She is.
But yeah, I refuse to have Jiraxxus until we have a gnome, so one of the voice lines can be, "Trifling gnome, your arrogance will be your undoing."
Also, it's not a gnome without inventions. So Chromie, she can't tinker, she can't fix things, so that doesn't count.
She invented her own nerfs very quickly. As we see, Abatha, Maiev, all classic bands for the moment.
Yeah, I'm still amazed by the fact that Genji was actually completely ignored in that one game.
Yeah.
So at this point, when both teams basically just witnessed one another ignoring Genji, do you even have to ban it right now? That's my question.
Oh, an excellent question. So we see Dahaka banned out, so they're trying to force KT into like a Diablo or a Decade ban. There's so many good picks left open for the A-team here.
Oh, yeah. And see, no Genji is banned this time around either. So, Illidan, though, getting shut down. It's a great Illidan map, mind you, for the hunt. All sorts of plays can be made. Illidan, of course, can always have those crazy core backdoors as well in this map. And Diablo makes it through again. Well, Timeless is going to be like, Diablo, you think you're a great tank? Hold my drink. I'm going to pick my Garrosh again, and I'm going to flip you over, because that's what I do.
Solid plan, but this gives Decade over to KT, the best support right now. And unless you count Tyrande. Was Tyrande picked? She was banned last game, right?
No, she was picked and she lost.
In the last game?
Yes.
Oh. Oh, yeah, she was. Wow, Brain. Thanks, Brain. That did not go well. Diablo, by the way, apparently 94% inclusion rate. That's pretty cool.
Well, the Nexus definitely is demon-friendly.
That it is.
Safe to say the least.
Will we see the return of the Tyrande? Yep. Along with the Reyna. Nice classic stuff. Very similar draft to last time, in fact, by the A-team.
But it worries me a little bit that Decker Kane made it through and that TWT isn't that hero again. Like, if I were the A-team right now, I would be like, okay, we need to find a way to shut this guy down. Because at the very latest, if he gains access to perfect gems at level 20 again, then we're going to be in a lot of trouble. However, out of all supports, I think Tyrande is actually not that susceptible to the anti-healing because she has single target heals. She won't really bait people into grouping up like an Alexstrasza would, for example. So she should still be fine.
Her ult, though, might be a slight issue, obviously, due to the anti-healing there. I mean, in that case, that might be a good reason to take Starfall.
True. It's not terrible.
Heal. Damage it is. But in this case, more healing and damage in the form of Thrall. And the Garrosh comes in, the double Orc play.
Now, I don't want to see another triple melee composition from the A-team. Leoric itself is okay. I don't think it's terrible, but don't go for another, melee assassin / secondary tank, off tank. I think that would once again play into the hands of Garrosh, just dominating and flipping one over. Malthael, all right, and the Jaina this time around. I'm still amazed, by the way, by the fact that we don't see Tychus more in this region. With so much focus being put on team fighting and tanks making plays, I think Tychus can be such a good punishing hero for it.
Yeah, this
could even be a good pick now for KT, mind you.
It could indeed. So, not going to see it this time. Sticking with a Sergeant Hammer. The range is a little bit more limited on the side of the A-team, but they've put Bruiser on Malthael, one of his best heroes. Both teams' drafts look good, but as I I almost these days I just kind of lean towards the Deckard team no matter what, because Emerald's a good ability.
And I just think that KT have this draft on lock, man. As you said, the Deckard Cain, who's Deckard's best buddy for life right now? It is Sergeant Hammer. You provide those potions to her while she's sieged up. They can't really touch her anymore as much. They have a super solid front line as well there. Thrall in the mix too. Can definitely hold his own against most of those heroes. You can even slow down the advance of the enemy team even more. You can break their engage onto Sergeant Hammer with the Sundering or an Earthquake, mind you. So yeah, I think in terms of raw drafting, KT has come out a lot on top.
I'd agree. This is... I don't want to say it because the A team their draft looks really good. They've got comfort picks. They've got good heroes. Yeaskook's great on Diablo. Bruiser is fantastic on Malthael. But they're going to have to massively play up the advantages they have on those heroes because, like you said, KT outdrafted them.
I think so. And Sky Temple is not always a very forgiving map when it comes to getting outdrafted, right? Oftentimes, if you have that stronger early mid game because of your superior draft, you can just walk away with a big snowball, with a big lead. You can refrain from team fighting. You just kite your opponents all day long. And it's going to be really hard for them to find their ways back into it. So from start to finish, I think the A team have to be so focused. They have to shut down the Sergeant Hammer. If they fall behind an XP, it's going to be a mighty tough hill for them to climb.
I think you might be right, but here is where we shall find out together, ladies and gentlemen. We are heading to Sky Temple for game number 3 of our best of 5 series. And on the left-hand side, it is going to be the A team. And playing for them, and with that level 1 Reina talent, again, it is going to be LK, Olele, Bruiser, Stugos, and Yeatskook.
Facing them is KT with TWT, Kiaru, Lotus, Timeless, and Bad. Alright, this time we don't see a Crash Lightning Thrall. Makes a lot of sense, you know. Thrall probably still won't be the main off-tank, the main solo laner. But, you know, with Crash Lightning not really doing a whole lot of work in the previous game and Sky Temple being a little more volatile when it comes to rotating, you know, you can't really hope to fight your opponents on the exact same location for a long time. Echo of the Elements is just a lot more reliable and safe. 4-man push incoming, gets scouted by the Sentinel immediately, though.
We see the split push talent coming in for Lotus. No ambush, so he tends to stay in siege mode more than not. Gonna eat a full blizzard. No, not gonna eat the full blizzard, in fact. It's gonna just immediately unsiege and back up the safety move.
That was an interesting engage. I thought Diablo would either go in Sergeant Hammer or Deckard Cain. Thrall usually is a little bit too hard to kill. Self-sustain, he has mobility from the Wind Fury, but I think Yeaskook just had to make something happen there. Also, keep in mind that the... Oh, Olele in trouble. Tyrande will be there to save him. The Adrenaline Shot as well. Olele is safe, and here comes a flank. All of a sudden, Lotus, you're surrounded. Put your hands up.
Nice kill. Nice wraparound from Diablo. Like, okay, I'm leaving the lane. And then Tyrande from point blank, auto-attacking Sergeant Hammer to the point of weakness.
Do you think that was planned, though?
I mean, no plan survives contact with the enemy, and some plans are created within contact of the enemy, so I'm going to say yes.
Well said, friend. So we once again see the Celestial Attunement come in for Tyrande against, you know, the slows and stuns. It's pretty okay. I'm not sure if it works against Deckard Cain's Sleep. I think it would because it probably... not sure if it does, actually. That would be an interesting thing to find out if he goes for Stay a While and Listen, whether Tyrande could wake up people with a heal.
Timeless getting kind of bodied this game.
So
he
good.
Will take it. That was a fantastic room with that scroll of ceiling. Olele is pretty low, but the Blizzard's good on Timeless. He's also very low, and both these teams will just decide to cut their victories in this case and back up.
All right, that was a pretty really good scroll of ceiling there. As you said, just reached barely in time to prevent Diablo from stepping onto that platform. And I'm not sure if they would have been able to secure the camp otherwise because Timeless was dropping dangerously low in health. We don't see the Wolf Pack here this time around for Thrall. Goes for the good old Mana Tide. More mana regeneration and cooldown reduction.
Indeedy. Olele pings away onto those mercenaries, weakening them as much as possible. Good stun, but immediately blocked with those siege tactics. Makes sense to use that then, as due to the fact of stars, it blocks the damage, and 2, you had vision on Diablo, so it's not so bad to do that here.
Yeah, I think so too. Siege Tactics, of course, what else? If you face a Diablo in a Tyrande, you want to have that additional, you know, crowd control protection. So it's a real minefield in that bush, by the way, just in case she was to be ganked there. And this is already a much more controlled, a much slower game than compared to game 2 here, in which, you know, we would have already seen KT walk away with a 5-kill lead or something.
Yaro just cleaning out the minion wave for the moment. As we are seeing top getting invaded here. KT had the option for the the team had the option for the trade and decided instead to fight as they move up and they let Reyna take control for the moment.
That was actually really clutch because Timeless had already used his Unstoppable on Garrosh, but he didn't even need to use it because his Orc buddy Bad was keeping him safe with that intercepting Wolf onto the Shadow Charge by Itzcook. So good moves there by the Double Schmork. Question is, can they hold this? Currently, they're without reinforcements, and I think Itzcook is trying to make that play. The stun is good, the follow-up stun, but no damage, not enough damage coming in from LK, unfortunately.
Now we see Itzcook getting locked down again, but this Bruiser Cam with that spell armor being such good value. Temple finishes the shots, and that will be the first fort of the game. Going over here, good into the fray, followed up with the toss, and rooted under tower. There's a quick knockback. Can they finish the job? Tyrande dropping the heals onto Itzcook, keeping him going as he turns around quick and domitable. Kiaru, not so lucky. He gets picked off.
He gets picked off. That's when Urel overstayed her welcome there and got a little too greedy. In the meantime, though, let's not forget that this was a 4 versus 3 situation. We saw Lotus and TWT just inflicting so much pain into that bottom lane. So, you know, for that next Temple phase, I think they basically paved the way already, destroying the Fountain, which is very important to out-sustain your opponents, destroying the gate. I think that was still an acceptable trade for KT.
I think I'd agree with you there, but in this case, not going to work out in their favor. It's KT. They are going to start working on their own mercenary camp, but you can see Itzcook.
TW needs to be so careful.
We have the power of vision. Oh, good knockback, interrupting the overpower as here comes Garrosh. Good flip, gets Stugos. Immediate turnaround as Stugos gets turned off in terms of death.
Yeah, such good prioritization here by KT, but the fight is not over just yet. 2 members are falling for the A-team. They got a little too greedy. A nice toss to get Diablo off that platform. Bad. You got to be careful, my friend. One slam against the wall, and you are going to say goodbye as well. And Itzcook actually got full souls. He's going to lose him right now, or is he? He stays alive for now with that build, with that Firestomp build.
1v3 me, I am the Lord of Terror. Oh, you brought a 4, never mind. He finally goes down. Souls removed, and he's back to 0.
In a weird way, losing those souls here was actually pretty okay because he'll be back for that team fight, and he bought so much time for the other members to respawn as well. This is probably going to be a 5 versus 5 in the bottom for that temple right now, but look at that beautiful control from start to finish, man. Target prioritization by KT on fleek.
Malthael rotating up to top lane to duel against Yarel as the rest of the team. Diablo, soulless, makes his way down as well.
Yep.
So he is here with the team, but he's just so much less tanky now.
And they need that level 10 as well. They really do. Heroic abilities are currently hovered over. They're a little afraid to use it. Ring of Frost coming in. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. But that could lead into either Diablo Heroic, to be fair. Both are viable here. Kiara is a lot of damage, but that's not... Oh, that might be... on Defender. But that's always a positive trade-up for Malthael, because even at max cooldown reduction, he obviously has a half the time cooldown.
Frost. He still survives. Jaina actually tried to peel for Diablo, gets focused down herself now. Really unfortunate, and now with a numbers advantage, KT is trying to bring the pain, but look at that zoning Lightning Breath, so good, drives them all back. Can Raynor bounce back now and get some pain himself? Here comes the flank, Malfear and Diablo on the chase.
Malthael diving forward, Timeless is the target, and all of that work, that Hyperion, so much damage. Malthael with a great flank. He's going to live it on the edge.
Wow.
But even through all of that, KT survive, and the A-team unable to get the counter kill.
Right, Diablo just took a big breath, right? He just drew a big breath because he was about to get taken down by that BFG. Beautiful fight. all across the board. I think the A-team salvaged that situation pretty nicely. They were losing members very early on, most importantly LK on that Jaina. But they didn't falter, and they had a beautiful lightning breath as well to zone them out in that choke point. Looks now both teams are trying to slow things down a little bit. KT, they do have a lead, but the lead is shrinking a little bit now.
And with that, we see the Owls once again being used consistently, vision being acquired by Stugos, always helpful here. As we see minions being cleaned up, as KT already starting to put more pressure on by grabbing their next Bruiser Camp.
Yep, Bruiser Cams are being unleashed by both teams right now. Top lane still in favor of the A-team. Thrall is going to have to take care of this. And bottom lane, look at that, completely untouched for KT. They were so in control of that last temple. Jaina doesn't have Ice Block, and she gets popped.
Stugos also doesn't have Ice Block, but he's also able to retreat this time as he turns onto Kiaru. Immediate healing reduction being dropped by Bruiser. As the Ardent Defender has to be used. Olele getting popped by Bad, but he survives thanks to Stugos. They turn round last. Nice and Timeless take it out. But Kiaru looking for the turnaround. Everyone's very low. Malthael in the backline trying to keep himself alive, but he will drop. In the meantime, they kill Yrel as well. But a beautiful scroll of ceiling sets this up for KT. They look for one more. Olele is the target. He's already healed back up a bit, so be careful, Lotus.
Olele, run!
Olele, root land. Scroll of ceiling, another root land. But look who's wrapping around from above. It's Jaina, and Lotus is gonna barely survive.
It's gonna barely survive, and also summons a spinning circle on our clean feed. Same for you?
Yeah.
Oh, that is a long one. It's still going.
I know.
Can they get the kill on Deckard? Oh my god!
Come on! Oh, come on!
Liz. Oh, I don't think they killed him. I think he managed
sound effects
to survive. I think we're gonna switch scenes here real quick, guys, because that is a little messy right now. Hello.
Yeah, that's happening.
It was
I hear sounds.
Yeah, we've got the sounds, but looks like our clean feed is currently going through some rough times.
Ooh. Yeah, this is unpleasant. We'll bring you back in once it looks stable. Oh no. Oh, okay. It's always pausing at like the best JoJo moments.
Exactly. I think the A-team might have been able to do something. I'm just gonna quickly manually restart myself. Maybe that's gonna figure things out here.
Okay, let me know if it works. I'm just gonna not touch it for now.
Yeah, I don't think it worked out. We still have a choppy show. But as far as we can tell, nothing really happened. It's just that the A-team pushed back their opponents. And I'm going to show you what it looks like, just in case you don't believe us.
Yeah, do you want to report to the other people?
I'm reporting to our Chinese production team. Henry!
Lovely.
You got to fix it, Henry!
Help! Okay, it's smooth video for more than 10 seconds.
All right, I think we're good for now. Okay. Diablo dies.
Think, but you pick up for a bit.
Okay, so Raynor barely making the escape happen, tosses the hammer on top of Jaina. That is a painful, painful experience. I can only imagine that in real life happening. You don't want tanks to be landing on you. Very unhealthy. The Owl is scouting what is probably well known to the A-team. They're taking the boss right now. So I think the moment I was about to write a ticket to our Chinese colleagues, Yitzcook is making that re-engage happen, but gets completely denied by KT. Not even the Lightning Breath will be able to salvage this situation here.
Keep going. I'm way ahead of you, so until we resync.
What are you sitting at right now?
5.8.
You just take over then because you're so far ahead.
No, because you're the one who shows to the audience.
Okay.
Just refresh. I can tell you now. You have a little bit of time. So
I caught up. 6 seconds. We're good.
Perfect. As they push it for the keep, I was like, I see the future. You have time. Quickly restart. As they push forward.
That's probably going to be game.
Still over half health. It might be. It's going to be a 5v5.
Yeah, but the boss is probably going to be very powerful. The question is, Mercenaries, of course, following suit here as well. Can they shut down this boss fast enough with percentage damage from Malthael? Look at Yitzcook buying as much time as possible. Takes up the healing fountain as well. Is this the turnaround, the comeback moment for the A-team?
That was really smart by Diablo. He was about to get hit by the boss stun. Bring on Frost! Come on, can they get him? Timeless goes down, but the BFG, it's 2 members. Lele
No way.
is fleeing. He turns around on a defender, keeps him alive as Yeetskook gets 1v3'd.
Finally, Diablo has fallen. That behemoth keeping KT busy, but so did Garrosh and Irel. Probably with more luck than brain, she got out of that situation because she was diving way too deep there for my own taste. But, you know, losing a keep is a better outcome than losing the core. So, well, now what they need to do, the A-team that is, try to get on one of those altars, maybe even try to force a fight, because eventually, with those altars being in possession of KT, they're still going to lose the game.
Exactly, and right now it is even numbers for the A-team. They move on, Irel spots Bruiser, and that will be the opportunity for Bad to back up. And right now, the A-team, they're still in the game. They're on even talents. They just have to pay as much attention to this bot lane as possible.
And look at what KT is doing. Sneaky, sneaky KT. They realize, you know what? The only way we can lose this game right here, right now, is if we go for a team fight and we end up losing it. So what do? We shy away, we run away, take mercenaries to keep our opponents busy, and maybe just try to win via temples. Good news for the A-team, though. Top lane is their healthiest lane yet. They still have towers and a gate to punch through. So they have a little bit of time. They need to stay away from the vision, though. If they get spotted by the vision tower, there we go. Nice angle. The enemies know exactly what's going to happen. Look at that. They're trying to make that onslaught, that ambush a reality.
This is ambitious. Stay a while just catches the edge there. Ring of Frost, though, it's got its hands on Deckard. He's the target, but he's able to pull back.
Diablo saved him.
Annihilated thanks to the Emerald.
I think Diablo actually saved Deckard Cain, who was still trapped in that blizzard. That didn't look all too good, and all of a sudden, the hunters become the hunted. Lele, the next target, gets taken out by his Terran friend, Sergeant Hammer, and only Jaina left to tell the story. Ice block in vain, and that is game.
That is definitely game. They're gonna... I don't even know why they're finishing the temple. The minion wave will take care of the keep and they can just rush onto it. They kind of need to roll for the race. And I guess they don't actually. They're just going to move on to the core. And that is going to be game number 3 going over to KT. And they are now 1 game away from moving even further up the table.
All right, Tetcher, that was a clutch move, but it was the only option that the A-team still had. You know, they had to force and win that team fight. But because they didn't, because they weren't able to burst down Deckard, who was in such a nice position, that game goes over to KT, who are now on a roll. 2 wins back-to-back.
That they are nicely done. KT able to currently get close once again to moving up out of Crucible range. Just miraculous escapes being potentially achieved here by them. And, well, it's possible once again. As we've already mentioned before, all of this match is important to avoid Crucible. After that, the next important match is, or the only other important match other than this one, is against the One. Whoever beats the One goes to BlizzCon. If the One win, then they go to BlizzCon. After that, it's all a battle for seeding. But KT, they have to go from 7th all the way to 2nd at the moment, but they are 1 game away from getting that little bit closer.
Yeah, very good point you made there, Tetcher. The Ones are basically the gatekeepers, you know, with their arms folded, saying, you are not allowed to enter unless you beat us. And in the current state that the One find themselves in, I would say they're a 2-meter, 30-centimeter Titan, and it's probably not going to be easy to shove those guys away.
Well then, we will have to see as the games go on. There's a lot of teams in the way for whoever makes it out of this series in into 6th seed, basically, into 6th position. Winner of this, once again, plays against RPG, and right now, KT are looking to make that themselves, that little rematch, little revenge match. It's the last time these teams played against each other. It was... I've lost that one. There it is. Both times these teams have played against each other, KT and RPG, it was a 1-1.
Pretty crazy.
When RPG and the A-team played against each other, the second time it was a 2-0 in favor of the A-team. And the first time it was a 2-0 in favor of RPG. So no matter which one of these teams goes through from here, they both actually have an even win rate against RPG.
it's going to be spicy one way or the other. And with RPG being the most unpredictable team in the whole of China, of HGC China, we can't really predict like who's going to have better chances, who's going to have a better shot at taking them down. Because with RPG, quite honestly, Tetra, I think it's just a gamble. Like you toss a die, I don't know, you draw a card, and depending on which result that wields, RPG is going to show up either big time or rather like one of the weakest teams in the league. I don't know which RPG we're going to see today. I hope we're going to see a strong RPG, though, because I have such high hopes. I'm not sure if you saw my tweet earlier, not today, but a few days ago, in which I added like a short power level rating of those teams, and I gave RPG 3 flames out of 3 because I thought they had so much momentum going for them.
I mean, I only recently found out that the RPG bits donations here do give you like the proper pink logo in game, so I have been rocking that. So much so that I actually played Valor with a skin that wasn't my E-Star loadout.
Nice. Wow. Simply because of DSL and his legacy. I'm loving it.
Also, very salty there's no pink Cassia skin, because basically I try to match the colors, and there's no like proper pink Cassia skin to match. Yeah, the only thing you could add was probably a pink mount, maybe a pink spray, and that's about it. Yeah, I use like the heart mounts, the like pink diamond heart thing with
the little unicorn,
pink-ish pirate skin. The pink Billy goat is what I'm using for the Valor.
Nice.
With a cowgirl.
Well chosen, friend. And Bad, in the meantime, of course, our MVP on that Thrall. Whenever you have 0 deaths on a melee assassin, boy oh boy did you do a lot of good work, because it's not that easy to stay alive as an aggressive hero like Thrall. So